You'll do almost anything to avoid sending one text, 3 words. Can you help? And you would rather lose sleep, lose time, lose your mind quietly than type that out and hit send. There was a day you don't remember. You were too young to keep date when you needed something and no one came. Not because you weren't loved. Maybe the person who should have come was tired or overwhelmed or simply didn't know you'd asked at all. It wasn't a tragedy. It was smaller than that, which is exactly why you never noticed it happening. A stomachache dismissed with, "You're fine." Tears met with, "Stop that." Here's what almost nobody tells you. Your brain wasn't keeping score of the pain. It was keeping score of the pattern. One moment is an accident. 10 of them is a rule. And the rule your nervous system quietly wrote before you could even spell your own name was this: asking doesn't work, so stop asking. In the 1970s, a psychologist named Mary Ainsworth proved this starts earlier than anyone expected. She'd bring a toddler and their parent into a room, then briefly step the parent out. Most kids cried the second the door closed, completely normal, but a smaller group did something stranger. They didn't cry. They barely looked up when their parent came back. They just kept playing, like nothing had happened. For years, researchers assumed those kids were simply independent. Then somebody checked their heart rate. Internally, their bodies were screaming exactly as loud as the ones who were sobbing. They'd just stopped showing it because somewhere they'd already learned that showing it never brought anyone back any faster. So why show it at all? That's the whole mechanism, just 30 years older. The adult who never asks for help isn't calm. They're running the exact same protection they built at 4, except now it wears a better disguise. It looks like independence. It sounds like, "I just don't like relying on people." You'll type it, "Hey, can you," and delete it and send, "I'm fine, just tired," instead. Because underneath the independence is rarely pride. It's usually a quiet certainty that you don't actually deserve the help, and that asking will only confirm what you've suspected about yourself since you were small, that you're on your own. Here's the part that should make you angry on your own behalf. Studies on how we actually perceive people who ask for help found something almost nobody expects. We don't see them as weaker. We see them as more self-aware, more secure. The fear of looking pathetic is universal. The actual penalty for asking almost never shows up. You've spent years silently drowning to protect a reputation that was never at risk in the first place. If this is you, the one who'd rather be exhausted than owe anyone anything, the version of you that wrote this rule wasn't weak. They were surviving a room where nobody was coming. You're not in that room anymore. That rule was written by someone much smaller than you, working off information that stopped being true a long time ago. You don't have to send the text today. You just have to notice you deleted it. That's where it starts. If this hits something in you, you're not the only one. Subscribe to 1% Better Daily. There's more of this coming.